ASMR video. Baby's making her first steps. This is strictly for fun. For some hee-hees and some ha-has. So my first video is going to be going over my TBR. I read a little bit. Those are my red books, or books that I've put down permanently. But I want to go through my TBR. Because as you can see, it's kind of big. I know a lot of people have taller TBRs. I've seen somebody with a 500 book TBR, 700 book TBR. I shouldn't feel bad having this much to read, but I do. So we're going to be going through my TBR. I actually did this video once before, but I have read a couple books since then, to which are up there. So, I want to get into it. I'm going to be showing the book, my thought process, and the synopsis of the book if it's the first issue. So, I recently got a library card for the first time since like my childhood, and so I got 2 books and they're already late. My bad. So I have to turn these in and I haven't read them yet. So this is the first one. It's The Princess of Convenient Plot Devices. It's basically about a girl who gets, this girl, her name is Octavia, who gets isekai'd into a BL game or series, I can't remember which, where there's a prince and I don't remember what the role of the other person was. It's probably like a knight or something. And they fall in love. Well, she gets isekai'd into the world as the prince's sister. And so now she's going through the trials and tribulations of that. But the first book's conflict, if you don't want spoilers, then skip ahead, I don't know. But the conflict of the first book is that she basically lies to her brother during an argument and says that she has a boyfriend. And she doesn't, and now she has to bring them along in like 2 weeks. She has to find a boyfriend in 2 weeks and introduce them to her family, basically. And she also has this guard, I can't remember his name, Clifford, like the big red dog, and basically, I think he's supposed to be the love interest, and I just want them to get together already, even though it's the second book. I read the first book at the library, and I brought the second one home because I thought I was going to read it, and I still haven't read it yet, and now it's overdue, and I don't know how much I'm going to have to pay. Despite that, I am excited to read it. I just haven't read it yet. Okay. The next one is also from the library. It is a comic. It's Robin, Son of Batman. Now, my favorite Robin happens to be Damian Wayne, but I do not read many DC comics. I love DC, but I don't read many comics. I'm just kind of there for the fandom, and it's a beautiful place, honestly. If you ignore all the bonfire happening in the corner, it's actually a really nice fandom. So, but I decided to pick this up, and so I need to read this. And yeah, I really like Damien. He is my favorite. Well, it's hard to say he's my favorite because I also really like Jason Todd. is reassessing his life, and that includes being raised and trained by Thalia and Rosado. To complete this training, he spent a year doing seemingly impossible tasks in the service of the demon's head, the Year of Blood. Together with Goliath, his pet dragon Bat, and a young assassin called Nobody, Robin sets out on a high-octane globe-trotting adventure to atone for his sins and to make right. Make right from wrong. The Year of Atonement. Sorry, it was covered by a sticker and I didn't see it. I think my love for Damien comes a lot from the Super Sons comics. I love Super Sons. I could read that whenever. But I should dip into Damien's own comics. That's the only comic I have. The next three are manga, and then the next three are regular books. Okay, the next book is Marriage to the Wolf. Marriage to the Wolf. Marriage to the Wolf. As this wolf boy and this bunny boy. Now, I got this book maybe a week or two ago, so I do have to read this. But I'm super excited. The BL table at my Barnes & Noble gets me every time, every single time. So I got this, and I will read the synopsis for you. A love that transcends species. After a year of bad harvest, things are looking dire for the rabbit tribe as they struggle to scrape together enough food to survive. When all seems hopeless, the solution to their predicament comes from the most unlikely source, the wolf tribe, who promises them monthly rations in exchange for a bride for the son of the prominent Crow family. I'm not sure. As the only eligible candidate, the young Kaide is chosen, though he feels less like a bride and more like a sacrifice. Upon his arrival at the wolf tribe's village, Kaide immediately clashes with his fiancée, Ren, a moody young wolf who wants nothing to do with him or their upcoming marriage. Will this young couple make it to their wedding day, or is their marriage doomed from the start? I am excited to read it. I just haven't yet. I am very particular about when I read. I have to be in the mood to do it, which is mostly why these books aren't read. But yeah, it's so late. I'm so excited. I love BL. Not to be like one of those freaky people who are like, oh my gosh, BL yaoi, BL yaoi. But like, I do like BL. I think the plot of most BLs is nice. I don't like a toxic BL. There is one series that I've read. If I make a video about the books, the like manga series that I have read, I will go into the first toxic BL that I ever read. And I read it all the way through, but it's on hiatus, so I hope this isn't bad. Whenever I get books, I do not look on Goodreads or anything. I don't look for any reviews. I just read it and then make up my mind afterwards. If I think it's interesting from the synopsis, like I'm a synopsis lover, I will read every book's synopsis. But if I think it's interesting, I'll pick it up and I'll read it, you know? But I don't want reviews barriers to stop me from enjoying a book. So, that's this one. The next is semi-TBR. Witch hat. I don't know how to say this word. Atelier. I don't know. Witch hat. I have read it to here. I need to complete it. This book is good so far. I have no problems with the plot of it. I love the art. I love the art so much. You could flip to any page and I'd be obsessed. It's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. Wait. Also, no, staying on this page. Look at that spread. Literally. Look at it. It is beautiful. I don't know if I love it more for its plot or its art. But if my words say enough, it's probably the art. But I really like this book's art style. It's just, the attention to detail is so beautiful. I literally have no words. I have no words to describe how gorgeous this book is. So I need to finish reading it. There's nothing about the plot that I didn't like. I just put it down one night and I haven't picked it up. Since it's the first issue, I will read the synopsis. A touch of magic. Meet young Coco, curious and bright and as I said, I can't read. Meet young Coco, curious and bright and desperate to learn how magic's wrought. But witches keep their secrets hidden tight, and witches, Coco knows, are born, not taught. Then one day, Coco spies upon a witch as he prepares the charms for which she yearns, and sees that, like her still, with thread and stitch, the truth is magic, something she can learn. Now with this knowledge, Coco starts to try to teach herself the witch's way with charms, and yet her aspirations go awry as Coco's magical causes grievous harm. To set things right, young Coco leaves her home and begins the tale within the stone. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. There is a figure that Paul has. I don't remember his last name, so forgive me for just calling him Paul. But he's like an anime guy, basically, on TikTok. He has a statue of Coco that I need with my entire being. It is so beautiful, but I am a broke student about to start college, so that's not gonna work. Nope. The next thing I read a minuscule bit of the beginning, but it is The Climber. I know there's like a really funny picture where it's called the LARPer, and that will stick with me every time I look at this book. I saw this book months ago at Barnes & Noble. I read the first little bit, and I put it down because it was $22 and I was broke at the time. Well, my friend ended up buying it for me later whenever we went to Barnes & Noble again, so I have it within my possession. Anyways, this book, I when his annoying classmate Miyamoto promises to leave him alone forever if he climbs to the top of the stool. Mori eagerly takes the challenge and shocks everyone when he makes it all the way to the roof. Flushed with the victory of his first successful climb, Mori can't resist the lure of the local peak. Despite warnings from more experienced climbers about the risk of climbing alone. But Mori doesn't care. A little danger is nothing in the face of his new obsession. And then this is the back of it. The cover is so pretty. And basically that whole synopsis is the first little section of this book, so that I read, so this is what he looks like. Loner. Anyways, I love the detail in this book too. He's so funky. He looks like he smells. But anyways, not too much on him. Yeah, that is this book, The Climber. That is all of my manga. So, we're gonna move on to my regular books. So, the first is Half a Soul. Half a Soul, Half a Soul, Half a Soul. By Olivia Atwater. Now, I don't often read books. I think you can tell that all of those are mangas except for these two books. I don't often read books, but I wanted to start trying, so I searched up what are some good, like, kind of fantasy type books, and these three are the recommendations that I got. So first is Have a Soul. I love this cover. It's like simple, but it's pretty, and I love the screen. So, it's difficult to find a husband in Regency, England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. Ever since she was cursed by a fairy, Theodora Eddings has had no sense of fear or embarrassment, an unfortunate condition that leaves her prone to accidental scandal. Dora hopes to be a quiet, sensible I struggle with that word. Wallflower. During the London season, but when Elias Wilder, the handsome, peculiar, and utterly ill-mannered Lord Sorcier, discovers her condition, she is instead drawn into dangerous fairy affairs. If her reputation can survive both her curse and her sudden connection with the least liked man in all of high society, then she and her family may yet reclaim their normal place in the world. But the longer Dora spends with Elias, the more she begins to suspect that one may indeed fall in love, even with only half a soul. I do love that, and I am ready to crack this thing open. Sorry. It is daytime, as you can see by the window, so the rest of my family is currently awake. This book was $19. I just realized there's a second book. Okay, hold on. Whenever I get to that book, I'll talk about it. So, the next one is the spell book. ASMR artist, Abstraneer. Beautiful videos, knock me out in seconds, but sometimes she talks about books that she likes. She has a whole section dedicated to it on TikTok. And so I was going through there, and I remember that she was talking about this book. And the cover was the first thing that really caught my eye. I was enchanted by this beautiful cover. I wish I had a poster of this, honestly. But yeah, she was talking about this book, and she was just like, nothing but praises for this book. So I got it. Now, the cover is beautiful. Purple happens to be my second favorite color, and I am obsessed with the fact that these edges are purple because it goes so beautifully with the front of the book. Those are my two praises. Okay, now we can talk about what the book is about. It takes a village to open a heart and just one man to steal it. Taylor has always had trouble dealing with people. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she and her assistant, Kaz, I hope, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decade sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. When a revolution begins and the magic goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spellbooks that they can carry, and head to a remote island Kayla never thought she'd see again, her childhood home. Taking refuge there, Kayla discovers, much to her dismay, a nosy and very handsome neighbor who can't take a hint and keeps showing up day after day to make sure she's fed and to help her fix up her new home. In need of income, Kayla identifies something that even the bakery in town doesn't have: jam. With the help of an old recipe book her parents left her and a bit of illegal magic, her cottage garden is soon covered in ripe berries. But magic can do more than make life a little sweeter. So Kayla risks the consequences of using unsanctioned spells and opens the island's first ever and much needed secret spell shop. The title of the book. So, what can I say? I'm excited to read this one too. Okay, I'm excited for all of them. They are all so cute. And so, I need to read it. Also, what I was talking about. Second book, I did not know that. Even though I have read the full synopsis in the back before, I guess I'm blind. So, anyways, that's enough of that. And we're on to our last book. This video is kind of long. I didn't expect for myself to talk so long. The last book is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I heard praises about this. I dabbled into it a little bit. I read the first chapter. That was it. Sorry guys. But why don't we go to the synopsis? As one of the few witches in Britain, Micah Moon knows she has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. And as an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone and she follows the rules. With one exception, an online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously, but someone does. An unexpected message arrives begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere house to teach three young witches how to control their magic. It breaks all of the rules, but Micah goes anyways and is immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her three charges, but also an absent archaeologist, a retired actor, finished chapter 1. But she kind of seems a little childish for her age. She's 30 something, but childish can just be part of somebody's personality, so that could just be her. I don't know. I feel like whenever I think of like a 30-year-old, I think of like my parents, which are not 30, but like that's what I think of, like a very mature, like into your life already, like person, and she kind of feels a little youthful. But I'm only a chapter in, so do not take my word as law. But I don't know. So I'm gonna dip back into this, obviously, because it was $19 and I'm not wasting $19. And you know, you can always learn something from something. So yeah, but that is my last book of the day. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to me ramble on about my TBR. I have to go put it back on my shelf. And maybe one day I will make another video talking about the books that I have read, which are not a lot of series, so it definitely shouldn't be as long as this video. But yeah, if you liked any of these books, if you have read any of these books and liked them, please do say something about it. I will keep you posted if I did read any of these, and how I liked them. So I might do another video at the end of the year about all the books that I've read. But yeah, also I want to make a quick note. I hate reading, or correction, I hated reading. I started reading again this year, and I have found so much joy. I used to have to be sat down and forced to read my summer reading books, and that was the reading I would do for the year because I hated it and never would pick up a book on my own. I started reading this year, and I've read so many books, and I've had so much fun, and reading doesn't expand my living knowledge too much, but it does expand my creativity, and it just gives me so much more ideas. And I am a creative person. I love making things. I love writing. I love drawing. I love doing crafts and stuff like that. And reading books like these just bring out my creativeness. So I'm so happy that I got back into reading this year, and I'm so ready to read these books. So also, if you have any notable books in your TBR, please do say, and if you have any recommendations based off of the books that I talked about in this video, also say something. So yeah, I think now that is everything for the video, and I guess that's the end.